We're going to go over tissue quality for shoulder mobility restrictions. So if we found on our breakouts that someone is definitely a mobility issue on the shoulder mobility screen, then we're going to go with some tissue quality exercises to break some tone and potentially work on any trigger points or tight spots that are in those areas. So first thing I'm going to have you do is just roll upper back. So my clients do upper back. I want A to go kind of right down the middle, and B, I want them to go side to side. Put more emphasis on one shoulder, coming over to the other side, put a little more pressure on the other shoulder. Arms crossed and arms up overhead, because you get a lot of different feel and a lot of different action from arms crossed or arms overhead. So go ahead and put arms overhead. Good. So we're just working the upper back, the scapula area, all the stuff around there. There's some pretty nasty trigger points in there on some people, and sometimes that tones that stuff down quite a bit. Another big area to hit is the lats and teres and all that armpit junk. So I'm going to go lay on your side. Sometimes this lights people up pretty good. I know that the first time I ever did this, years back when I first set my body on a foam roller like that, it was nearly impossible. It was just so painful. So I want you to reach your arm up over your head like this. Yep, and just go from basically the bottom of your tricep down your lat. So this lights people up pretty good. A lot of times this is an area that we really want to work on. If for some reason they can't do this at all, you don't have to necessarily roll. And I want you to roll really slow, and I want you timing your rolls with your breathing. So inhale and then exhale and go real slow into the roll. Sometimes you might have to just, like I was saying, you might have to just have someone sit there and just breathe on it without actually rolling. Or sometimes you might have to have them, I'll take this foam roller for me, just lay it on the ground. Just lay it on the ground. On your side. On one side. This arm up on the back of your head. And just actually get in and do some stick work with people. Sometimes the foam roller is just way too much, and some stick work is a lot better to get that area kind of desensitized. So with the stick work, it's not about pressing hard with the stick. It's about like 2 fingers, maybe 3 fingers, and just small light strokes to kind of break some of that tone. You can really get into some tight areas with this thing, stuff that you can't do with the foam roller, and you barely have to use any pressure to get good results. So sometimes you want to do stick work with your clients in order to break that tone. Go ahead and sit on your butt. Another important area is the traps. So we can get a tennis ball or a cross ball and stick it on the wall and have the clients do it themselves. Or once again, we can use a stick. Go ahead and touch that nose down here. Good. And put this hand back here. And now we're opening this area up to get on the shoulder, top of the scapula, more towards that midline, and then into the neck a little bit, really light, get into the levators, and we can almost come around here to the side and get some of that throat jump. So just real light, working on that, do both sides. And also another big one is going to be pec. So you can go ahead and lay it on the ground. One thing we can do with the stick is just put it in the corner of the pec minor and just do like a hold, like a trigger point hold. But more often than not, instead of doing this kind of stuff, and then I want you to actually put your arm here and drop it back. Like as she brings her arm back and forth, that really opens up that pec. You can go down here. So I'm putting that stick right on that trigger, having her lift through that, go out, different positions, really opens up the pec minor. More often than not, especially in group training situations, large group, it's a cross ball on the chest, on the wall, and then rolling the pec with the lacrosse ball. And that's the majority, that's the big stuff that we hit when doing tissue quality for shoulder mobility restriction.